Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. And as we count down to that green light, I have to say, Anthony Davidson, that this rain is not showing any signs whatsoever of abating. I imagine we'll be looking at some last-minute setup changes to better adapt these cars to the conditions. What do you think?
The trouble is, Crofty, they need to be thinking about the race tomorrow. You don't want to go jacking up the ride heights and piling on a few points of extra downforce that you're not going to want in the Grand Prix itself. The Parc Ferme regulations mean that you have to make that choice. The best thing the drivers can do is adapt with the tools they have available in the cockpit. Moving the brake bias forward will help stop the rear end slipping out under braking, and opening up the differential can really help tame the oversteer on corner exit. The drivers that can make best use of these techniques will have the best chance for success here today.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my F1 2017 career mode today. Now I know it's been about a month since the last video, but I can only apologise for that. I basically just fell out of love with Toro Rosso. It felt like every time I was going to go onto the game and record an episode for this career mode, it was going to get a bit repetitive, constantly being in Toro Rosso. So obviously you guys chose Williams for the second season in this career. And here we are now doing our first qualifying session in this career mode, the second season. And it's full wet, in case you haven't noticed. And we just about squeezed through there in 13th place. So obviously full qualifying in this as well. Only doing 25% races for the minute, because I'm currently doing 50% in the classic career mode series. And I don't want to do 25. I don't want to do 50% in that and then do 50% in this, because it'll take ages to do, and I won't have enough time to get the videos out as often as I want them to go out. So what I want to do is try and get this career mode out every day in the week, so Monday to Friday. If I don't, then it will be Tuesday and Thursday, because they're the free slots on this channel. So yeah, I hope you all agree with those decisions that I've decided to make. Obviously, if you don't, then I'm sure you'll put something in the comments. But coming across the line now to finish our Q2 laps now, and obviously doing multiple laps in the rain because it improves over time. And just about managed to get through to Q3 as well. So it's a good start for us here. And going into Q3, well, hopefully we can do something about that. Obviously Massa there unfortunately qualifying in P15, so he's obviously not going through to qualifying 3, along with Kvyat, Grosjean, Hulkenberg, Magnussen and obviously himself. So it's been a good start with the Williams team. Obviously the front runners obviously at the front, which is obvious. And yeah, let's get on to Q3 then.
Okay, hope you brought something to read today. There's an issue in the fuel system. We don't think it's anything terminal, but it is going to take some time to investigate and repair.
So unfortunately we had a fuel system fault going into Q3, so that left us with very little running at all. As you can see there in the top right, there's about 2.5 minutes left in the session, so I can get about 2 laps in, which isn't the best considering these wet conditions. You know, obviously improves over time. So hopefully we can do this, and coming across the line to finish our Q3 lap. That puts us in P7 at the moment, and coming across the line again to finish the session now, because obviously the session's finished. And coming across the line, and we qualify in P7, so the same position. So it's not bad, considering this Williams is meant to have a really awful chassis and awful downforce. It's not bad in the wet conditions, you know, finishing ahead of both Force Indias and Toro Rosso. Obviously, since the most recent update, Williams has gone down in performance in terms of they're now worse than Force India. So actually, I think they're level with Toro Rosso as well. I can't quite remember, but Lewis Hamilton qualifies on pole then, 21 thousandths ahead of Sebastian Vettel. So those two are going to be fighting out for the title this season, I'm assuming. And then obviously the usual suspects, apart from myself probably, and the rest of the top 10. So without further ado, I want to hand over to Crofty to introduce you to the race.
It's out with the old and in with the new here at Albert Park as we usher in what we hope will be a triumphant new era of Formula One racing. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, former F1 competitor, former world champion, and dare I say it, all-round top bloke as well. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, and it's gone and rained on us. I imagine that that's not especially helpful for the teams, who are still trying to figure out, of course, what kind of performance they're all capable of.
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction. I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here, and I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, in regards to the weather, you're absolutely right. You know, we've just come here off the back of testing. It's the first opportunity to really gauge where the reliability is, where the performance is, how you stack up against your competitors in the Grand Prix, and now it all has to be kind of put on hold for a bit. So now the question becomes, who can be adaptable? Who has the wet weather pace, and who can make best use of these difficult circumstances to come out on top in these conditions?
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, and a Williams, Perez, Ocon, Sainz, and Daniel Kvyat, Grosjean, Hülkenberg, Kevin Magnussen, and Raikkonen, Massa, Palmer, Fernando Alonso, and Pascal Wehrlein. Ericsson and Stoffel van Dorn completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
You qualified higher than we were expecting, so see if you can keep this position in the race.
Obviously, Jeff, they're confident I will not drop down any more positions in this Grand Prix. For some reason, they're wanting us to make a pit stop. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could go a whole race without stopping. So that's why I was doing this. It's very strange why they think we should do a pit stop. I don't really know why we should do that. So I just left it at halfway. Just letting you know now, spoilers, I'm not going to be doing a pit stop in this Grand Prix because, you know, it's wet conditions. And full wet tyres can go to the end of the Grand Prix near enough. So here we are now, setting off the formation lap in 6th place because Kimi Räikkönen for some reason got a penalty. I don't know what it was for. I don't know. I mean, it couldn't be an engine penalty because it's only the first Grand Prix of the season, so I don't know how he got that. So we're now starting in 6th as we now cut to the grid of the Australian Grand Prix. We've got 3 lights, it's 4 lights, it's 5 lights. Lights out, and away we go here for the Australian Grand Prix. We've got off to a relatively good start considering the conditions, and the Max Verstappen alongside us has got off to a relatively good start. I mean, Perez from out of nowhere. I mean, sure, we go down the inside of all of them anyway. Now we're up into 5th place in the Grand Prix, and now we have a Red Bull going side by side with Ferrari up ahead of us, and now he's going side by side with Bottas somehow. I don't know how that's happening, as we're drifting around this corner. Now we're going to go down the inside of Ricciardo into 4th place, and that sets us up into 4th place now, and it's a good start there for ourselves. Passing on to lap 5 now, this is me. As you can see, this yellow flag is up ahead, and I think that's a Mercedes going really slowly, and I don't know, I think that's Bottas going really slowly, and I don't know why. I think he's about to retire, I don't know. But now, cutting on to lap 13 of the Grand Prix, yes, nothing happened in this Grand Prix because of wet conditions. Sebastian Vettel got a puncture. Yes, Vettel got a puncture. So that's huge for us because we're now up into 3rd place in this Grand Prix, and now we're up into 2nd as Vettel comes out of the pit lane a lap down, and he blocks us here. He must be thinking that we're fighting for position here. I don't know what he's doing, and I've got the 2 Red Bulls right behind me now, and eventually Vettel lets us go past, and yeah, you know, up into 2nd place now. So this is great. They're great for the debut for me in the Williams team. As you can see there in the bottom right, our tyres are pretty much dead, because they just about made it to the end of the Grand Prix. But coming around the final corner now to take 2nd place in our debut race for Williams around Australia, just about holding on with the tyre life. I can't believe we just got 2nd place.
Great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today.
So the final race classifications then in a fairly uneventful race, which I apologise for. It's just what happens when you get wet conditions and nobody can really do anything. Hamilton finishes first, 20 seconds ahead of me. Ignore that. I finished second somehow. Ricardo finishes third. Verstappen fourth. Ocon finishes fifth. Sainz finished ahead of Raikkonen, so I mean, fair play to him. My teammate unfortunately didn't get any points in this Grand Prix, finishing 12th. Julian Palmer doing what Palmer does best. Bottas retired and Vettel finished a lap down, so that's big for the championship because Hamilton now has 25-point gap over them already. I mean, I know it's the first Grand Prix of the season, but to get that gap in the beginning of the season is just amazing for him. So there are the driver standings. Then obviously it's going to be the same as the race results. It's the first Grand Prix of the season. Hamilton is obviously first, 7 points clear of me. Then Ricardo, Verstappen, Ocon, Sainz, Raikkonen, Hulkenberg, Kvyat, and Magnussen in the top 10, all getting points. So yeah, I can't believe I just got second place in my first Grand Prix for Williams, and that means Red Bull are top of the constructors because obviously both their cars got points. Mercedes and then Williams are in there as well. Ferrari down in 6th. Is that 6th? Yeah, 6th. I mean, they've had a terrible start to the season, let's be honest. So, moving on then to all of this resource point stuff that, you know, you all like to see. Obviously, got a lot of points for starting the new season. Now, obviously, some of you might have figured this out already. I've had to start a new career to do this because obviously I never got any team offers in Toro Rosso, so obviously I've had to start a new team career, and all the R&D has been reset and all that for the teams. So unfortunately, Toro Rosso do not have all the upgrades that I've had. As you can see in there, all the teams seem to love me all of a sudden. I don't know why. Maybe because it got a podium in the first Grand Prix. But here we are then, going into the R&D screen, just checking out where the Williams are. Obviously, Williams are the second worst team on the grid for chassis, so I went for that straight away. Then I'm going to go for Aero because they're the 4th worst team in the grid. And then I went for just a wear upgrade on everything. So if you did enjoy this episode, please leave a like and a comment. Off to a great start in this season, and hopefully we can continue this further on to the season. Goodbye.